Enlightenment, and the demon called Mara was trying to knock him off track and tempt him away from this feeling of enlightenment. So what he did is he put his hand on the earth, and as soon as he did that, he became enlightened. And so this talk today is about really realigning with nature. So I thought it was quite a nice first image of the Buddha putting his hand down on the earth. It also is a sign of strength, that when we connect with the earth, we have that inner strength too. Next one. So, we are the earth. We live in it, not on it. And we all contain within us the sun, the rain, the water, the earth itself, and air. And in macrobiotics, we've done really, really well with understanding our connection with food and diet. But have we really used the healing benefits of the other aspects of nature? By accessing certain parts of nature, we can also heal. We cannot really say one is more important than the other, because as humans, we can't be on the earth without air. We can't be here without the sun. We can't be here without water. So with those aspects, yes, we've worked really hard on food, but have we really made the most of those other healing and powerful aspects of who we are? Because there's no separation. We have what within us, what is without. So the first one here is the sun. And actually, this is a picture I took myself. Before I work, I go out every day. And one of the most powerful times of the day for me at the moment is to walk outside just before the sun's rising and actually to be present when that energy is coming up. In the past, ancient Greeks and yogis and many traditional people knew how to use the sun to heal. It was called heliotherapy. And the sun itself can help many things. It can help with depression, it can help the immune, it can lower blood pressure, help cholesterol, it kills bacteria, cleanses the blood. So there's many things, helps with skin problems, that we can use the sun just to heal. And the problem today, and we all know this and we see this, people don't spend time outdoors anymore. They may leave for work in the dark and yet get home in the dark. And without the sun, nothing can be alive. So it's really important to try to make and use, this ability to go out, because it's very easy. None of the things I'm suggesting today cost money, actually. It's all something we can access very simply. And with the sun, some people say, oh yes, but we need all these sun creams and hats and sunglasses. Actually, if you start going out early in the morning, there's a saying, only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. I'm not suggesting everyone rushes out then, but if you learn to adjust even your skin to early morning sun, the first maybe 8 to 10 in the morning, it makes a big difference. And we all know, we've all read about vitamin D. And vitamin D is vital for health. And when you use some screens, or what they call not sunscreen, the cream that covers you up all night, or you don't spend any time, you're not getting that D. And it's a very difficult vitamin to find in other ways. It's good for bones, energy, it's anti-aging, it helps prevent cancer, it's good for your brain. So there's many things that we can do with the sun. The other thing is we need light, and we need full spectrum light, which we get from being outside. So today there's a problem with all these computers and cell phones and all these other appliances that we've all got hooked into the blue light, and I'm sure you've heard of blue light. Blue light is actually the light in the middle of the day, which is very good for stimulation, making us feel that we have attention, we can focus on things. That's blue light. But it's not so good at night, because at night the mind needs to relax. So what happens with blue light is it tells the brain not to produce melatonin to make you relax for sleep. So people are on their phones till they go to bed, and then of course we have poor sleep. Next. Sorry. No, the wrong one. Wrong one. Yeah, sleep. Oh well, we'll go to the next. Okay, we'll do exercise. Sorry. Wait, before I can. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So we all also contain with us the dark part of the inner part of our body, the night. Traditional cultures, they spent time outside in natural light and then they went to sleep and it was pitch black. That dark is really, really important for health. It's poor sleep, which is probably one of the most usual problem or complaint that I get with guests when they come, when I see them. That they have poor sleep, they don't sleep well. It's aging for the body, it creates poor decision making, so that, you know, if you don't sleep well, then the next day you're not really on the ball about, you know, making a good decision. So sleep is really important, and it goes along with the idea of unplugging, getting used to, you know, not living with all these computers and cell phones. And I mean, actually, very ironically, yesterday I got home from work and it was an intense day. I had about 14 guests, and I got home and I was sort of fiddling around thinking I've got to get up at 4 to come here. I left my phone at work. I was like, I can't believe this. I left my phone at work and my glasses. So I had to go back on my bike, cycle all the way back to work to get my stuff to bring here, because we're so used to having a phone. You know, I thought, can I come to Berlin without a phone? No, I don't think so, I suppose. No. So it's just interesting. And it's so important to unplug and really try to get a dark room at night. If we're more exposed, there's studies done of people that do night shifts. People that work, you know, when they're exposed to the light at night are more likely, or there's a higher chance of getting diabetes, heart problems and cancer. So sleep and that dark is very important. The trouble is, guys, I left my stick at home and the numbers don't correspond, so poor Anna's trying to see. But I'll just jump. Okay, I don't really want to go too much onto food, because food, we're so good at food. But just a couple of things. Of course, macrobiotic food contains all of nature. It contains the wind and the rain and the sun. When we eat food that comes from the earth, it's part of nature. So it's fabulous in terms of, you know, helping to feel more connected. Just a few questions that maybe we want to discuss is, what's considered local? I'm not going to answer these questions. You know, there's a big thing we tell people, eat local foods. What is local? Who decides what local is? What's the radius? Do we decide it's a mile radius or is it a 100-mile radius? So what do we consider local today? And also, for hundreds and hundreds of years, people have traded in foods. They've gone all around the world, bringing back exotic things and, you know, changing things. People grow different foods, and they got seeds from other countries. So also, how do we use that in a positive way? Because, you know, when we come to local, many foods in many countries now are not local, they've come from somewhere else. And is that okay? I'm just throwing out questions. I'm not saying I have these answers, just I think they're interesting to look at. You know, can we eat globally? Is there a way to eat globally? Because people travel a lot now. I mean, I have guests that travel almost all the year. So where do they choose their food? How can we help for them to adjust to their style of life if they're traveling all the time? What's their home? You know, where is it? So that's just a few questions I thought maybe we could discuss, because of course food is vitally important, but I didn't really want to go into too much more details because other people were talking about food. Water. All right. Okay. Hydrotherapy is healing with water. It's been used for hundreds of years also. You know, the use of hot water, cold water, salt water, water that's, you know, has, or the sea. I mean, there's so many different aspects of healing with water. But what I wanted to talk about is hydration. You know, we're almost 70% water. So we need water. We need to drink water. It keeps the immune strong, it helps our joints, helps the organs, regulates body temperature, helps digest food, eliminates waste. There's so many, you know, great things we can do with just water. What's really interesting is that we get more hydration actually from vegetables and fruits than water itself, because they contain the mineral salts, you know, they have, of course, other nutrients, fiber, protein, vitamins. So it's easier for us to absorb fluids from those vegetables and fruits. But at the same time, I think it's really important that we look at this idea about how much we drink. Of course, you can't, it depends what people eat. We know that. But for many years in macrobiotics, it was this only drink when thirsty. And I can tell you that, again, I see lots and lots of people, and a vast majority of those people never feel thirsty. But they're dehydrated. I never felt thirsty. I was quite proud of myself for a number of years in the beginning of macrobiotics because I didn't drink anything, zero, nothing. I thought it was great. Really convenient. I never felt thirsty. But it wasn't doing me any favours, and still to this day I don't feel thirsty. I have to make myself drink. I have to sort of remind myself, and I do feel much better from doing that. So it's just a little thing, about how we decide about that hydration, because it makes a big difference to people's health. Okay, next. Air. Air. We need air, we all know that. With air, just a few things I just wanted to mention just out of interest. When we breathe in, we bring in new things that are new into our body. We actually bring in moisture, which also helps all the organs in the body. When we breathe out, we let go. We let go of things. Interestingly enough, the way we lose fat in the body is through breathing. I think 80% of fat loss is through our breath, breathing out. So with just a small thing on breathing, I think we do really well on the breathing. We had that lovely thing this morning about breath, which I really appreciated. Thank you so much. But we release what we no longer need. So what's important with breathing is that we can learn to let go, very simply. And this is where everything is connected. If you clear out your house, you provide more breathing space. So it's all connected. So helping your lungs could even be just clearing out a closet. It helps you to let go, and it helps your lungs to breathe more. So the air is really important. Of course, air outside, especially around water or around trees, you're going to get a much better quality of air. And this is a very symbiotic relationship we have with nature, because we breathe out and we nourish the green with our carbon dioxide, and the plant gives us oxygen. So there's even, I studied ecopsychology, and one of the things is breathing the trees, that you share that. It's a very powerful exercise. But yeah, so being around nature is going to improve the quality of breath. Next. All right, our home is our sacred space. So what we want from our home when we go home is to recharge, rejuvenate, relax. It depends what you need in that moment. And the more natural our home, the more we can improve our health on that level of just coming back and being able to recharge our energy. So what's interesting, and I'm sure you've seen these recent reports, but a lot of these chemicals now, things like fabric softeners, even perfumes, they're affecting our health much more than maybe we realized, and especially the hormones in the body. So we work a lot with weight at SHA, and people can be eating fabulous diets, doing lots of exercise, but they're not losing weight. And it can even be things like just using these chemicals in cleaners in the home, or using fabrics that contain chemicals. It affects weight. It makes it difficult to lose weight. So it is important what we bring into our home, the natural, using natural fabrics, more wood, and also plants. Of course, bringing that in to keep the freshness, opening windows. Okay, community. I think we talked a bit about this earlier. I love the image of geese. We all know the flying geese image. They fly in a V. They're very aerodynamic. They have one guy at the front and they fly in a V so that they can go really, really long distances as a group. When the front guy gets a bit tired, he goes to the back and the next one takes the lead, so that they're always flying together. It's wonderful in America, you see it a lot. I don't know if you see it so much in Europe, but I used to see the geese flying all the time in that beautiful V. we are community beings, or we're a community. And what research has shown that those people who have more healthy relationships with their family and friends live longer. People who are more disconnected, who live alone, are more isolated, or have a lot of problems with friends and family, it's more harmful to your health than obesity or smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Some research has shown. It's good for our self-esteem, it nurtures positive behaviour, it's good for stress, creates bonds, of course, and healthy lifestyle, and creates memory. Really, we had another great discussion with Greg, about everything, what's reality. And what we have left as we get older is our memories, which we can keep in a pocket and we can bring it out whenever we like. In a difficult situation, you can pick up a beautiful memory. My mother had to have a CAT scan once, and I said, "Oh, Mum, that must have been terrible." She said, "No, not at all, darling. I had a wonderful memory of walking in the bluebell woods at the bottom of the house." We use those memories, and we can really evoke, wonderful feelings. So, with community, I think it's really important. We have a fabulous community with macrobiotics. I was, so excited to come to see everybody more than anything about this, every year. I see people I've known since I was 20, which is only last year, but so I think if there's some way we can, figure out how to create a stronger, more supportive community, it really makes a huge difference to people's lives. And then the last thing is just really, the last thing is just, I'm not really going to go into it, but I think the key is really to have fun and to understand that we are nature. We're not separated, and we can use all these beautiful things that we have just at our fingertips to really improve our health. For me, I do work really hard, and everyone else does, and people ask me, how do you manage? And I say, because I go out every single day. I go out with my dogs, and I absorb all that. I absorb the sea and the trees and the sun and the beautiful sky, and I carry that with me while I work, because it gives me that extra strength. And I think we can all do that and really use it, and maybe bring it out more in macrobiotics. The one thing I forgot, and I'm sorry, is walking barefoot is super important. If you can, it sounds like it used to be an old hippie thing, but it's got incredible healing benefits just to walk barefoot. And you don't have to be out on the grass, even in your own home, as long as it's more tile or a natural flooring. But it's great for stress, blood pressure, immunity. Sorry, I'm thrown out. Anyway, thank you so much.